Today, we have in our midst an eminent speaker, Srimati Sucharita Chandrasekharan, who will share with us her wonderful experiences with Sai. Srimati Sucharita hails from a family which became a part of the Sai fold right at the inception when Bhagwan declared his avatarhood way back in the 1940s. 3-4 generations of the family have all had many direct experiences of Bhagwan's Mahima days, some of which we may get to know from her today. Her grandfather, Sri Sheshagiri Rao, a well-known person in the older Sai fold, was all in all in charge of the sanctum sanctorium of the Pata Mandir, that is, the old Mandir, the place where Bhagwan first sat with public as Sai Baba. Sri Sheshagiri Rao's daughters, Srimati Sundaramma and Srimati Sharadamma, were one of the lead bhajan singer groups of Bhagwan from 1950s onwards. They were fondly nicknamed by Bhagwan as Pata Ammailu, the song girls. And our today's speaker, Srimati Sucharita, is the eldest daughter of the Pata Ammai, Srimati Sundaramma. As she grew, she chose teaching as a profession, and Madam Sucharita taught in some of the most prestigious schools like Sri J. Krishnamurti's Rishi Valley, Sri Aurobindo's Aurobindo Memorial, and so forth. It is also interesting to note a little known fact in her life when Swami's choice for the principal of his school at Ooty was none other than Madam Sucharita. But she was destined to work with the Karnataka state organization, and we are indeed fortunate to have a lady full of principles in carrying forward Swami's mission. Sucharita Auntie has been associated with the education program of the Sai organization right from the day Swami started them officially in 1969. Since 2001, Auntie has been the state coordinator for the education wing of the Sri Sathya Sai organization of Karnataka. Swami has been the breath of Auntie Sucharita's life. To her, Sai's work is my work, and it is heartening to see Auntie, even at her age, to be so lost in Sai Seva that she sees no hurdle at all to travel from north to south, east to west, not only of Bangalore, but all over Karnataka, and that too in public transport. And above all, she sees that she is before schedule. No complaints, no cribs, and even if they are there, they are meant for the sake of others, the group as a whole. She always takes everyone along, even those with differing views, treating everyone as a member of the Sai family. It's really amazing. And I'm sure, brothers and sisters, you would agree with me when I say this is really motivating and inspiring for your all young sevaks like us. Finally, I would say King Parikshit yearned and Srimad Bhagavatam was born. We yearn today and we get to know, listen and experience to the Sai Madhura Gatham, the glory of Sai, through many of his chosen instruments. And now it's time we tune our mind to Sai and listen to his glorious glory rendered by Srimati Sucharita.
Pranams at the lotus feet of our dear Swami. That's how we used to call him, and that's how we continue to call him even today. Supreme Sai Ram to all the brothers and sisters of the Sai family. I would like to share an anecdote before I take you all down the memory lane. It was, I remember well, between 1967 and 70, 1967 and 70, when a group from Chebrol, from Andhra Pradesh, happened to be called for an interview by Swami. So that family went in. Now how do I know? In the year 2000, as I was sitting waiting for darshan in Sai Kulvantra Hall, a group sat next to me. We fell into conversation and I discovered that their mother and my mother were good old friends, good old days. She told me that her mother was the one who was called for the interview. Know what she asked after the interview? Swami, please remember that lady came to Sai fold around 1950. The new mandir, Prashanti Mandir, was just then built. They had come then. So she had asked, Swami, as such, within the last 15, 17 years, the proximity we enjoyed with you is becoming lesser and lesser. The conversations we had with you are becoming rarer and rarer. Now my question to you, Swami, is what will the devotees do in future? What was the concern of a mother? You know what Swami said? Vinu Bangaru, Chaputanu Vinu. Listen to me. I'll tell you. Munmundu, in future, when I am not seen in the physical form amongst you. In future, when I am not seen in the physical form amongst you, Bhaktulu, the devotees, will sit in groups in Prashanti Nilayam, Avaranamu, the campus of Prashanti Nilayam. Of course, we have made it into Sai Kulvant Hall now. Gumpuluga Kurchuni, people will sit in groups and, in his own words, Swami Muchatlu Muchatinchukuntuntaru. They will be talking about Swami's Mahimas, Leelas, experiences amongst themselves. Friends, what are we gathered here today for? So this is our Swami. Now, then, all the three are covered. I would like you to take you down the memory lane. That's how I named the narration of my experiences. It's not yesterday, it's not day for yesterday, it's not last year. It is nearly 7 decades. Because and before that also I want to ask you, I want to do one more thing. It is Kabir, you correct me if I am wrong, is supposed to have asked by somebody, if both your Guru and the God come and stand in front of you, whom are you going to offer your reverences first? And Kabir is supposed to have said, it is to my Guru who showed the God to me. And today I am going to borrow his words. Today, if I am going to stand before you and share a couple of thoughts, couple of experiences of mine with you, the credit should go to our elders. Most of them are merged in him. A couple of them are still here. Even today, they wait for me to go and talk to them about the good old days. That is the impact. So, remembering our elders who not only went, but they made it a point to take all their kith and kin with them. So, Swami himself used to call Bengaluru Gumpu. He never said Bangalore devotees. He used to call Bengaluru Gumpu. We went in groups. God knows whether those uncles and aunts those days ever had the responsibilities we have today. They made it a point to go as often as possible to him. Then, when did they start this journey? It was 1943 December. They did not go to Puttaparthi. They had not heard of Sai Baba of all the people. They never had any idea of this. They went just to Anantapur. My grandfather, one Mr. Narayan Sharma, his wife Srimati Savitrama, and their only daughter Shanta, who is today 85 years. She very much wanted to come today, poor thing, she couldn't. So with them I went. Where? To Anantapur, not to Puttaparthi. We went there. They went to visit a cousin of my grandfather. So when we landed there, we get the information. Here, a 17-year-old boy has started announcing himself to be Sai Baba. And he says he has come to redeem the world. Oh God. A 17-year-old boy. Where? Puttaparthi. From Anantapur it was nearly 40 to 45 kilometers away. And our people had no interest whatsoever going after a boy who declares himself to be the Redeemer in 1943. But that's what my grandfather said. We didn't go. He drew us to him. He had decided. He drew us to him. How? Some people, neighbors who were exposed to Sai Baba, they came and dinned into my grandma's ears. So we went to Puttaparthi. All, hassles and whatnot. From Anantapur to reach Puttaparthi. Where do you go and land? In the great Karanam Subbamma's house. Is it a coincidence or was it predetermined? Take it as you like it. Because that Karanam Subbamma and her co-sister happened to me some God-forsaken relatives of my grandmother. I don't know how they were related. But we went and landed in Subbamma's house. And what had Swami done? He had left his home and he had come and decided to stay in Karanam Subbamma's house. What a coincidence. But I could not even imagine. I was too small a girl. I didn't know. Now I keep thinking about all the things. So, this Karanam Subbamma was so impressed with her long-time relatives to come. Swami, we'll vachina Bengaluru nunchi. She wanted to introduce these people to Swami. You know what Swami said? Nakanta telusu. Oh God, we have not seen him. Ayanakanta telusu. This is the drama begun in 1943 December in Puttaparthi, in Karanam Subbamma's house. Well, we stayed for nearly 3 weeks. Elders were all the time involved in talking to him, knowing about him. Me, I was happy playing outside with other kids around. I never knew about Swami or God or any such thing. I was happy as I was. 2 things made me sit up. I want to share with you. And another thing I want to tell you is, Karanam Subbamma's house was down to earth ordinary house. No furniture, no dining tables, nothing of the sort. So, for meals, we had to sit on the ground, Swami too. And being the youngest, I had the privilege to sit next to him. How do you like it? I pat my back now. So, the other 2 girls were a little older. So, when you sit with him, you listen to his jokes, his comments. Wonderful, wonderful. And one thing that struck me and holds me is, one day when they had served all the items, leaves. He sits, a leaf is spread for us also. The grandmothers come and serve all whatever items they have made. And Arambinchandi, come on, start. They tell. Now Swami says, no, you have forgotten one item. Gather. So these people said, we have cooked, we have served. This fellow who has not even come to the kitchen tells us that we have forgotten. So they went to Yen Swami, Anta Vadichinamo. They look at these leaves. No, you have forgotten one item. Go. So these old women, all the three of them, go into the kitchen and they discover coconut chutney which was prepared and kept on the grinding stone of the olden days, you know. I said, my God, this Swami knows where a chutney can be kept. That was my first introduction to Swami. A couple of days later, my grandfather comes running. Suchu, come. What for? He wants to take me to Swami. When I go there, he says, come on, namaskar chahi. Come on, do namaskar. Mechanically. Then he introduces, she is my granddaughter Swami, my son's first daughter. Ayyo nak telislevaya. I know. There are 2 more sisters of hers, 3 daughters for your son, and your daughter-in-law is in the family way, and she is going to get a baby boy, and the delivery is going to be difficult. I am going to stand by her. You tell them to name him after me. My God, I was gasping. I never knew my mother was... You know, that introduction to him, who knows everything and anything, was the deepest impression I think one can have. Okay, we stayed for some more time. That Pongal came and all the formalities of our Hindu families, everything we went through. We came away February to January 3rd week or so to Bangalore. And Swami comes to Bangalore 1944, maybe February. That was his first visit. He comes directly to my grandfather's house. Please remember, our people were very, very ordinary people. Very ordinary people. Cannot boast of any modern day conveniences. Those days in Bangalore. So Swami had to come by third class complaint. Third class compartment by train. And then from the railway station to Chamarajpet residence by a Jatka Gadi. You know what Jatka Gadi is? A horse-drawn Gadi of those days. There were no autos or any such thing. He lent himself. That's the beauty. That's the permanent impact. He stayed in our house and later some other people also came to know. So it started. I got my brother in 1944 March and we named him Sai Prasad, and these grandparents informed all our kith and kin on mother's side, father's side. The whole entire group would rush. Wherever Swami was, these people would rush. Like that our journey to Parthi started. Anytime, anything, they would cook up reasons. If there is no festival, they would sort of create situations so that they could go to Parthi. What was it that they attracted so much to Parthi? First of all, you know, he was with us. He used to, the bhajan 2 times. This all continued in till 1945 only in Kamalamma's house, that is Karanam Subbamma's house only. Bhajans, bhojans, and all sort of, you know, and all the stories and everything in Karanam Subbamma's house only, it went on. 1945, if I remember, December, was the old mandir opened. By that time the crowd became more and more. This Subbamma's house was not enough. So she herself gave the land and then they built the house. By that time people from Bangalore, Chennai and also Kuppam, they were increasing. And when the day there are 2 incidents I want to share with you. Every time they would go, our elders, you know, my mother and aunts and all, they would stay for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, sometimes 6 weeks also. Don't ask me what their husbands did. They had to cooperate. So before they left, they would cry, you know. 3 days before they had to leave Parthi, they would be in tears. the separation, the oncoming separation was too much for them to bear. This went on working on my mother's mind so much that once she composed a song on the pangs of separation. She had composed a song in the dream. And that morning, Swami from the old mandir comes to Kamalamma's house to see that these people are given a farewell. He comes all the way, and the roads was not there, there were only lanes, you must remember. He comes there, and all these aunts and, they were all excited. One more namaskar, one more talk with Swami. That was the boosting. Then my grandmother says, come, you sing that song you composed in the dream, Sundara. Just boss. Then my mother starts singing, all by herself. Nobody else had heard it. After she completes the song, Swami takes over. He starts singing. On the spot composition. We were the most unfortunate because we never had pens, we never had recording thing, nothing. Only ears and eyes to see and enjoy and hear and enjoy. That was the time. The song he sang had about 8 to 10 verses. Each verse he dealt the advice of a mother to her daughter when she is going away to her husband's house. How to stay, how to live with your elders, how to live with your brothers-in-law and sisters-in-law and all that thing, He went on singing and everyone was crying. We will go, Swami, please see that we come back here. That is our prayer. And he says, go, be a good girl, look after yours, That's the relationship between the mother and the daughter. Isn't the statement, Swami's love is the love of 1,000 mothers? Okay. Now this goes on like that. Now, once the night he before left the Karanam Subbamma's house to shift permanently to the old mandir. After dinner, he says, Subbamma, I want to sleep with all of you here. I'm going away to that mandir, no? I was here for the last 5 years. So I would like to. You should imagine these people jumping up and down. So all the women on one side, all the men on one side, and he sleeps in the middle. Not before sleeping, a lot of chit-chat, I would call. That was the way he gave the proximity. Now when I use the word proximity, it is not sitting in the first row. It was mental, emotional, physical. That was the impact. Every one of us would be, my God, how do I leave Swami and go? Because he was so close to me. And the same thing will be felt by every third person, That's the beauty. Now, this reminds me of another thing. In 1960 or 65, that period, Shivaratri was there. He wanting to be with devotees is my point. Shivaratri was there. Our grandmother, the Great, was we used to call her Hitler, Madam Hitler. That was the capacity. She had ordered for a set of cooks to come to cook all the prasadam on Shivaratri. The next morning, all of them have to be fed. Those fellows gave a slip. They never came. So my mother and my grandmother, what shall we do? What shall we do? How do we prepare? How do we prepare? So much, the crowd and all that. So Shivaratri day, early morning, that was Saturday morning, my mother is in the room there. Swami comes at the portico. Sundarama, then Swami, she comes running out. Vantavallu vachesare. Who is that Vantavallu? You looked, choo, 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 he says. And when you turn that side, you know who the Vantavallu were, the cooks were? Dr. Padmanabhan the Great, his elder brother, Dr. Srinivasa Murthy, and my father, who would not even keep the glass on his table. We had to go and receive it, after he drinks the coffee. That was my father. And another 3 or 4 uncles. All of them, they had just then come. They were just trying to take out the shoe and then, get ready to walk into the ashram. And this Swami from the top says, Vantavallu vachinaru. Em Swami idi? My mother says, what's happening to you? లేదు గమనుండి వాళ్ళు చేస్తారు. ఏం చేస్తారు? We know. Then the drama was so good, friends. I'm back in those good old days. Those fellows, all the 6 of them, all my uncles, they were taken to the kitchen, and under the supervision of my great wonderful grandmother, they had to lift those huge vessels of rice and sambar and all that. They did everything because Swami. And that was not the end of it. And these people said, at least we can help them, and all the thing goes over. Lunch, all the leaves after the Mangalarti, leaves are all spread, everybody was sitting. Swami had to go upstairs for lunch. Then Swami says, నేను ఈరోజు నా భక్తులు వండినారు కదా, వాళ్ళతోనే భోంచేస్తా. My devotees have cooked the meal. I want to stay with them and eat. My God, you should have seen that excitement. A table was kept, and Swami sat on that, and all the people around sitting and enjoying. See, this is Swami. This is Swami. He wants us to go. He used to say, Miranta Navaru. You're all mine. Nanni mi vanaga cheskokududu. Can you bear that? We are all his, I believe. And he requests us, Nannu mi vadiga cheskondi. You make me yours. It's not just standing there saying Sai Ram and then going. We will have to make him ours. How? He shows. Got it? And old Mandir was a real paradise for those of us who were there. There was no interview room. There was no darshan time. There was no rules and regulations for bhajan. Only those people should sit in the front, and no mics, no instruments, nothing. It was a contact between the divinity and the devotee through songs. That was the beauty. And there were no these namavalis then. Songs. Which songs? Anybody's songs. Whether it is Tyagaraja or Bhadradri Ramadasa or Purandaradasa or Basavananavaru, and even our anybody. And some of the devotees were smarter folks also. They would compose songs. Such wonderful songs. Oh, what was the content of the song? All the leelas they happened to see, they would put it in the form of a song. So there was no documentation. Once I had taken a book to note down what he was saying. Neeku pattinda pichi book pichi. He said, you too are caught hold of writing in a book. You are also got infected with dust madness. He said, Mastakamlo pettuko, pustakamlo vaddu. I am a very honest student, so I never wrote down anything. All that my Mastakam gives me, I am going to share with you. So the bhajans, they would describe all the leelas, mahimas, which happened. So even if I was not in person in Parthi, I knew what he did that day when he went with somebody to Chitravati. The song would tell us. And we as a group were ever hungry for songs. That's another advantage given to us by our elders. They were musically oriented. They kept learning songs. I tell you, one day my mother, Harikatha, so persons who sing songs and go begging, on the road. One lady was going. The song she was singing was wonderful. So my mother goes and says, please come in. That lady got frightened because this lady would do something. So she got her home and copied the song from her and learned the song because she wanted to sing it to Bhagwan. So anybody, anywhere, any song they learned, they wanted to sing for him. And what did he do? Kotta paatalu unnaya? The minute you enter Parthi, he would ask, Kotta paatalu unnaya? Padandi. Finished. Bhajan need not be there at all. Sit and sing for him and he would listen. That was the contact between the divinity and the devotee. How many songs? We sisters are almost called mad guys. Because wherever we are, we will get humming, singing and enjoying those songs because they are so full of messages, so full of leelas. So songs was the main thing. And Swami himself would sit in that Pathamandiram. There was a slab on which Om was engraved. Swami would sit on it. To his right, the men folk. To his left, the women. He would say, "A paata paadu, ye paata paadu." He would dictate and these people had to sing. And these devotees were smart, I am telling you. Any, some problem or some such thing they happened, they faced. Why did you do that for us, Swami? Would be the content of the song. They would question, why? When you can go and eat Shabari's fruit, when you can go and bless Ahalya, when you can go to Vidura's house, why can't you come and accept my dish, Swami? Was the content of the song. Immediately he would answer, did you follow the sadhana as they did? A song in reply. This was the, I tell you, it's beyond my. Then, elders enjoyed singing, bhajan and all. What did we do? All 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old children. And they would sort of thrust us out. Less trouble for them. It was only my grandmother, the great poor thing. She had all the love and affection for us. So for feeding us, she would mix sambar rice and yogurt rice in 2 big vessels. And her psychology, I'll tell you, we had to hold the hand like this, a big ball of sambar rice, a big ball of curds rice. And then if there was chutney available, she would put it there. Then we had to sit and eat. It will take some time, no? 2 big balls. Her analogy is she can go around and give all the other waiting children. So that by the time she comes back, we would be ready. But between 2 children, 1 hand would come suddenly. She would have given them just then, she would shout, just now I fed you, how fast can you eat? Swami would laugh, ha 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 ha. He would come sit between 2, put his hand. He wanted to be a child among children. Not only that, we children, we were smart cookies. We wanted to play the usual the games, illata, maneata, So we wanted to play maneata in Putparthi also. So we used to build a house. Our houses were all small, not befitting for Swami to come. That was our interpretation. So we built Sakamma's house. Kafi work Sakamma, who was So we built her house. When Sakamma's house is built, Swami's room has to be there. Because we have seen Sakamma's house only when Swami is there. So you build a small area for Swami's room. And one girl runs back to the room, gets an invitation of some function. Cut out the Swami's picture, she puts it. Swami's bed is ready. And another girl will make another photo, sit like this, bhajan hall is ready. This was our own cooked up game. And we are all so absorbed and happy. Pillalu, em chestunaru, from behind. He would come and stand behind us. Kids, what are you doing? Oh God, this is sheepishly grinning, Swami, illata, artha, namu. We were such dumb creatures. Swami, we are playing maneata. Yavril kattinaru. He would not say, oh, okay, go. Whose house did you build? Swami, Sakamma's house. We were so. Chudra Krishna, he tells the person who walks with him. Chudra Krishna, ee pillalaku aatallono Swami chintanera. That was like, arise, awake, stop not till you reach the goal of Vivekananda. So next day onwards, built Nagaratna Madhiyar house and this house and that house. He came, he didn't come. But that motivation, strengthening the faith, deepening the devotion, I call it. And we were very, very smart. If mother put kolam, what do you call it, rangoli. They would do it. We wanted to do it also. So he would come and stand behind with some devotees. The Rishikesh Swami Shivananda's, Shishya, Sadanandam. With him he is standing. We were completely absorbed in Rangoli. Says, Chudu Sadanandam, Pillal Yanta Baga Muggu Pedtunnaru, paper cut chesi paste chesi undi kadu. Why I am telling you all this is, the way he came down to our level in order to lift us up. In how many ways? Friends, it goes beyond imagination. Once what we said, some problem was there, I got very angry. I could not get angry with anybody. I got angry with only Swami, because he was available, but he was in Puttaparthi. I got so angry because I was disappointed in my program. I could not utter a word in front of my people, my mother, and they would have taken me to task. So the safest place is to get into the bathroom, bolt, and then blah, blah, blah. I howled at him. You cannot help me. You will help only the rich people. This, that, everything that I could think of. And then I wept for a while, and then I came out. I did not utter a word of this to anybody. Finished. After about 2 weeks, I get a sort of letter saying I have got a seat in Bangalore Central College for BSc Honours or some such thing. So I had to come away from Mysore to Bangalore. I stayed in my uncle's house. Then we heard Swami had come to our Sudha Raghunath, Vasan Venkatraman, their house. So with the 2 aunties, I go there. I have forgotten happily that I scolded him. It was okay for me now. I go and stand there. There was no darshan time. Swami would come on and off as people collected. So he opened the door, walks, glaring at me. He is coming towards me. I said, what happened to him? All of a sudden, I don't know. What's wrong? Why is he glaring at me? He comes and stands here. Aina, anta muginchava, inka baki pettukonunnava. Yem Swami, I had forgotten. Yem Swami, I asked him. That I was. Yanta tittedi nanni. Nenem chesti neeku. Nannenduku atla tittinavu. Then I realized, my God, Tappaya Swami, please Tappaya, fell at his feet. Lie. Then my aunt comes to my aid. Swami, adi titlu kaadu Swami. Adi nindastuti. I didn't know what it was. Adi nindastuti. Then I had to do some research. When Prahalada was saved, Hiranyakashipu was killed by Narasimha. He would not come out of that Ugra Rupa, I believe. This is what I heard later. Lakshmi, Narada, and all of them were trying to plead to come down. No, he was doing. Then Lakshmi called Prahalada and said, you praise him, he will become normal. So Prahalada starts saying the prayer. Then suddenly he goes, this is a story we read and saw in the movies. That day, this lady's statement, Adi titlu kaadu Swami, Adi ninda stuti, had such an impact. Chudu Bangaru, he cooled down. Then he tells me, Chudu Bangaru, kopam techukoku. You should not get angry. Even if you happen to get angry, don't give freedom to your tongue. If and when you give freedom to your tongue, you will regret for life. So, see, that's how. Not only he talks sweetly and then pats our back and says blah, 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 go. No, he corrects us. Only we have to lend ourselves and take his correction. One more thing. We have all gone to Parthi in a bus. About 50 to 60 hours is a wonderful big gang, I tell you. 20 to 30 uncles and aunts and children and all, a whole big busload. We go there, stay happily for 3 days, and then we are all expecting Swami will call us for interview. That was the thing. And always he called all these 120 people together into the room. And we also adjusted, sat, because we wanted to hear. We all wanted to hear together, because we never wanted to miss. So we would all go. And that day, look, he calls only the husband and wife. And this husband and wife, having born their children, happily forget their children. Only those two go. Swami has forgotten us. These parents also have forgotten us. Only those two go. We were looking what's happening. Who is going to care for us? This went on. Second couple, third couple, fourth couple. Problem is getting. We have to do something. Then I am supposed to be the ringleader of our group also. So what happened? When the last but one couple went, I just sign language, all of you get behind me. So they all came behind me, I walked, stood near the interview room, new mandir. Then my mother, Hitler again, and Padmanabhan, another. Hey, don't start creating all this mischief, get back. Swami has not called you, that is your luck, get back. He said, you just keep quiet, I told him. This is between Swami and me. You don't interfere. Hold it. Then the last couple interview got over. The door opened. Those two came out grinning away to glory. Behind them Swami sees. We are about 25 to 30 children, all of us standing like this, grinning away to glory. Meekantana. Meekanta korikla. You interview for all of you? You all wanted to, yes, Swami. So I said, Randi, finished. I looked at my mother and my uncle, not at. So we all went in. He stands at the door, lets all of us in, and then kurchundi. Very religiously, very obediently, we all sat. Then he locks the door, not even an adult ant could enter. Band, only we. And Swami says, kurchundi. Andru kurchundi. He sits on the chair. He looks at all of us and our age group, I tell you, from an LKG child up to the BSc child, that was our group. Several. Then Swami says, adigandi. Emi korkelu. What do you want to ask me? Ask. In Kannada we say Peddu Shikamani, duds of the first order. We didn't know what to ask. We never had that occasion. And we did not have anything to ask because he has given us everything. What is there to ask? So grinning away, Adagandi, em korikulu, Adagandi, em Adagandi ledu. Sitting. Then he looks at all of us. By that time, my cousin, who is sitting next to me, pokes me from the back. Hey, ask him for the results. Ask him for the results. What happens? Like a stupid. I spoke. Swami, kontamandi memanta board exam kattinam Swami. Ma result emautundi. We have given board exams. The board exams, 7th standard about 4 or 5. 10th standard about 3 or 4. Intermediate about, not intermediate then, PUC I think. So 3 or, no, it was intermediate then. Then BA, all classes are there. Swami, ma result emautundi? Sheepishly grinning, I ask him. Then he looks into each one of our eyes. God, we were shivering. He looks at everyone and says, Andru pass avutar, vakar tappa. Everyone will pass, but for one. God, this is inviting trouble. You or me, or you or you, who? And he would never continue. Anta namaskaralu cheskondi. Sad face, we all did namaskar. Then he took vibhuti, put on our faces, inku vellandi. Friends, that was the first and the last time we ever asked him for results. What a way to teach. If we have done well, the result is in our hands. If we have not done, what will he do? What a simple statement. It never occurred to us. And then later he calls my mother, says, Chudu Sundaramma, see Sundaramma, when Kalpa Vriksham vachi, mundu nilapadi, em kavala? Wishfully fulfilling tree will come and stand before and says, what do you want? And these people ask me for coffee powder, Sundaramma. How do you like it? That was the first and the last time our group ever asked him for the result. Study, do, result will come searching you. Don't ask him and bother him for result. Our uncle, as a youngster, had hernia problem. He had the hernia problem. He himself was not aware. Once he went to see Swami in somebody's house, Nagaratna Mudliya, whoever house, I don't remember, with his father. And there Swami comes, then pats his abdomen here. Nikikada noppi undi kadu. Who went and told him? God knows. Said, ne chuskontanle. Then after that, 6 months or so, both the father and the son go to Parthi. Then this man is sitting for bhajan in that old mandir. He comes and pats his back ra. So we call him Papu. He went behind Swami. Swami takes him to his bedroom, makes him lie on his bed, materializes a knife. How do you like it? So the hernia was taken out. And then he comes out, calls Kasturi and somebody else. You're not able to hear what? So he calls, then said, ఇక్కడ ఒక బెడ్ అరేంజ్ చెయ్యి, అబ్బాయి కొంచెం రెస్ట్ తీసుకొని. This is Yoga Kshema Vahamyaham at the individual. That's several. I can't go into the details. But one very interesting, emphatic, eye-opening miracle of his I want to share with you. It was again Dasara, our Bangalore Gumpu, our uncles and aunts. What do you call it? Anyway, nearly 50 to 60 members. They planned to go together. And Parthi those days, old man that time, until 50, we could not get matchbox or salt available in that place. We had to carry even that with us. So these people, all stalwarts, they plan a Parthi program. 50 people, some children and all. Then they say, let us not get down in Penukonda. That just then this Hindu-Muslim Galata was going on. Independence, on the eve of the independence, lots of problems, no safety. So these people, wisdom personified, they said they would go to the next station than Penukonda. There was no bus service then. Penukonda, beyond Penukonda, there is a place called Makajipalli. So these people said, we will go and arrive in Makajipalli. There, we will engage 8 bullock carts. For your information, 8 bullock carts to accommodate these 50 to 60 people. Then from Makajipalli to Puttaparthi, travel by bullock cart. Adventure. Actually, when I think now, Makajipalli, Penukonda and Kottacheruvu form a triangle almost. So, they found they had taken one cook, 40 to 45 women, about 20 to 25 children, and then only 3 men. Poor fellows. Only 3 men. One of them was my grandfather, one was one uncle, and the other fellow was a cook. Because we were very well planned. We wanted to take a cook so that he will spend all the time in cooking. We are not going to do because we want to be with Swami. So that cook was also there. And the carts came, They came to that Kotta Cheruvu, Yeru, that is the river. Even now it is there. So what we had to do is to cross the river and go to the other side. You will get Kotta Cheruvu village. The river, if I remember correctly, would be about 12 to 15 feet wide, that's all. But the banks were very slopey. You understand this thing, is it slopey? So the cart that comes there will have to go down like this, cross the river, go up and go to the level. When the carts reached that spot, these bullock cart fellows, they started talking with each other in their language. No, it's not possible to go. Why? The river was in speed. The river had come almost to the level of the ground. And they said, forget going to Puttaparthi. The carts cannot be taken across the river. Then my grandmother told, what are you talking? We have been coming to Puttaparthi since last 5 years. What do you do? This, that. She bawled at him. Then when the argument was going on, to the right side, they see about 8, we as youngsters, we call them Negroes. Where will the Negroes come there? They were so dark, very hefty, sturdy, tall men, 8 of them sitting there. And these people, the cartman said, Chudandi, they was pointing to our elders. Then this fellow said, what do they want? What are they doing? What is the problem? Then these cart fellows said, they want to cross the river and go to Puttaparthi today. It's impossible. The river is in floods. Then they take out that thing, shake it, come and stand near these cart fellows. Entistar, how much will you give? The accent, the face, I can't forget. How much will you give? How much should we give? Some 20 rupees or so they must have asked for one cart. Our people, very economical, very intelligent, they dilly-dallied and made it to 10 rupees per cart. So they had to give 10 rupees per cart to take them across that river in speed. Then what they did? They said, Andhra Digandi. They made all the people get down. No, our people go more after emotion than science. So fat ones, all the 4 ones in one cart, thin ones in one cart, like that it was not evenly balanced. So these fellows come, later I analyzed, as I grow up I analyzed. They pulled everybody down and they rearranged the passengers for each cart. Said, my God, these people are going to do something for us. They are pulling us out of the cart. What are they going to do? All sorts of thoughts. Then they come, 4, if the cart is here, 4 to the left of the cart, 4 to the right of the cart. You know what they did? They gave their shoulders to the beam, the main beam of the bullock cart. So 4 of them, 2 in front of the wheel, 2 behind the wheel. Same way, 2 there. That side they would give the left shoulders, this side they would give the right. And not only that, and I tell you, there was no Sai Ram those days. Sai Ram came only after the Delhi people came. Till then we had only one word, Swami. Swami, 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 Swami was our chant. And these fellows gave the shoulder and then they screeched and howled in such, it's frightening to remember also. Like that shouting. This strategy is, when they screech and shout and start running, the bulls will get frightened. They start running away thinking some wild animal comes. When they run, these people run. So the cart is moving. Not only that, they get into water. The bulls start swimming. These fellows with the weight swam, took the cart to the other side. Can you believe it? And I'm a science teacher, so I'll give you the details. The cart did not cross. It went nearly 60 degrees this side. Why? The force of the water. So one cart goes, when the cart is going, the people in the cart close their eyes, Swami, Swami, Swami. The people on this side, my God, are we going to go through that? Swami, Swami, Swami. This was the drama. It was around 4 o'clock or so, 4:30. Then cart by cart, cart by cart. The cart goes like this. When they go there, my God, did we come like this? They will blink. These people, should we go like this? Anyway, the drama was over. All the carts were there. And those 8 fellows, Padayandi Dabbu, throw the money at us. These people humbly placed, not more, only 80 rupees to them. Then these people are saying they went and then disappeared. In their anxiety, they did not even note it. That was the saddest part of the episode. They didn't note that those fellows came only to carry them across and they disappeared. These people didn't bother. Then we go further. The carts could go faster because the weight is all balanced well. So the carts go about 2 to 3 furlongs. The sky became so dark and it started drizzling. We were still on the border of Kottacheruvu. We had to go to Puttaparthi. What to do? What to do? My God, Endak Swami Mammalishnu Parikshestaro. That's the only thing they could do. At that time, an 18 to 20-year-old boy walks in front of you. He holds his dhoti like this, has a torch, comes and stands. Ekkadik velutunnara? Where are you going at this hour? మేము పుట్టపర్తికి పోవాలా. No, the basic fear was these Muslims would attack us for the Hindus. For the Muslims, the Hindus would attack. That was a common problem both had. So we could not trust anybody and everybody who comes there. So say, మేము పుట్టపర్తికి పోవాలయ్యా. ఇప్పుడు పోయేదానికి కాదు. You can't go. It's pouring. Wait. He just runs, comes back with the keys of the school building which is by the side. He opens the school door, asks us all to stay there for the night. Then, ఇంతమంది పిల్లలు ఉన్నారు, భోజనం ఏమైనా ఉందా లేదా? Then look at the concern. Then our people are very well prepared. Carrier loads of food for our night. భోజనం ఉందా అయ్యా? పిల్లలు, పాలు, he runs. Gets a can full of hot milk. తీసుకోండి. అంతా పండుకుని పొద్దున లేచి వెళ్ళుతురు. థ్యాంక్స్ అలోస్కో ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ. We never knew that we should thank him. Anyway, we accepted it. We stayed there that night. Next morning, he comes in, about 5:30 itself he comes with hot milk for the children. We just, I don't know what these people said. We got into the carts and then the sky was clear, everybody rejuvenated. We raced to Puttaparthi without any hassle anymore. And even as we reached the entrance, that day happened to be the first day of Dasara. Our wonderful elders had miscalculated and started an Amavasya day, we should not. So Amavasya gave us taught us a lesson, I should say. The next day was Dasara, it should have started. No sign of any Dasara there. Then some people are standing, Mirena? What? Memena? Mirena Bengaluru Bhaktulu? Yeah, what's wrong? Swami has been telling, since yesterday morning, నా భక్తులు తొందరలో చిక్కునున్నారు. My devotees are caught in problems. I must go. So he went in for a trance around 3:30. We never knew. We had heard that he would go in trance. We never knew that he would come in trance for our sake. So he went in trance from between 3:30 to 5:30 or so he was in trance. He did not come out of the room at all. Then, పాపం తొందరలో చిక్కున్నారు, చాలా కష్టపడుతున్నారు. Then again at 5:30 he goes into trance. Then 6:30, no food, nothing, he went out sleep. Those people told us, otherwise what do we know? Said, Swami చాలా చెప్తున్నారమ్మా. Swami said his devotees, మీరేనా? Are you those devotees? How do we know whether they are there or not? Later, Swami comes out. అంతా క్షేమంగా వచ్చినారు కదూ? All of you have reached safely, no? Yem Swami, our people, Ponile, Nenuntiga, Ne chuskuntiga. Then we connect his words and the interpretations. Oh Bhagavanta, Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. Is it the way you did for us? Friends, we have never ever excused us for giving him that pain of carrying 8 carts. This is Swami. This is Swami. It will go on and on. And quickly I want to tell you about one thing. He took my grandfather, Narayan Sharma, my father's father, to the river bed. He said, Chudu Sharma, Chudu. Yen chusedi? River. The river water was very clear, not like today. The Chitravati river was wonderfully clean and full of water. He shows the Dashavatara. Dashavatara. In the running water, scene after scene, scene after scene, this man got so bewildered. Dashavatara in the running water, shown by a 17-year-old boy. Can you believe it? No, we have to, because it was our own grandfather who did it. That was for him. And to my grandfather, that is my mother's father, he shows him the third eye. Oh God, that man became possessed. Swami said, put him in the room. Don't let him come to me. If he touches me, finished. So my grandfather was locked in the room for 3 days, fed with food and water through the door. And we were all lying in the veranda that time. Suddenly in the middle of the night, Sai Rama, Sai Rama, one person started running around Prashanti Nilayam. He said, some madman has come. That was our first reaction. That was Honnappa Bhagavatar. Have you heard of his name? Who is he? The great actor, singer, Harikatha Dasa, Honnappa Bhagavatar. He showed an avatar to him. So these were the ways he complete the sentence. Now, my grandfather, in the same situation, Swami had gone away, the mandir was built, the flooring was yet to be done, lot of work was going on. My grandfather was a very ritualist about puja, arti and all. He would go from old mandir to the new mandir, offer arti. Sometimes the people, workers there would ring the bell. The bell was at the third door. You know the gents entrance, the third door. The bell was there. Somebody had to stand there and ring the bell. This man would stand near the sanctum sanctorum and give arti. That particular day, nobody was available. How can we forgo the arti? So my grandfather worked. He cut a large piece of camphor and the matchbox ready. He ran near the bell, swung it with full force so that it will ring for some time, and then he ran back to this place, started doing arati. And he thought, if the bell becomes slower, ringing of the bell becomes slower, he will keep the arati down, run again, ring the bell. Then this is his strategy. Then he started taking the arati. Om Jai Jagadishari is not a small song. It's quite a lengthy song. This man started singing, goes on singing, looks at the bell, bell is swinging away to glory. This man is... By the time the first verse, the 1.5 verses were over, Anandashru, Swami, nee aratiki nuvve bellu kottukovala ayya, he asked. You have to ring the bell for your own arati. What a pity, Swami. The old mandir people saying, why is the bell ringing so loud? They were curious because the party was very prashantam those days, not noisy like today. So those people heard it, then said, my God, this is a lesson for us. Tata, they used to call my grandfather Tata. Tata, from tomorrow onwards, every time you go for Aarti, one of us will come. How does he teach lessons, sir? How does he teach lessons to us, the great devotees? And one more thing. Your Ravana Bhojanam. He used to take us to riverbed, Chitravati. And our people, the boys like you, were used to get very, very excited. And the girls, we were not anyway back. So the elders said, Swami, we will spend the whole day there in Chitravati riverbed. Who is going to give the food? So we will cook food. So they planned and carried all the provision they took there, and they cooked the food. Then you can see Swami also there. It's a bit dim. This is the photo of the 50s. You can't help. Okay? Swami goes, and our people, they were very, very ritualistic. What do you call it? Orthodoxy. We should not eat food with everybody. We have to cook our own food. Brahmins the great. I should not use the word. So they cooked it separately. And the others, Swami went to both the groups, took the food. Then he sat and ate. By the time he finished, all of us were having food. Then boys, hats off to them. Swami, why can't we have Uyala? Unjal, what do you call it? What do you call it? Jula. So they cut a branch of one tree, tie it with some cord, all, such country level Jula. They built it. Then Swami was asked to sit on it. Everybody swinging him to glory. Then you know what our mother and aunts did? We must have nice Jula songs. So they started composing Jula songs. This was the type of Chitravati Tira Mahimalu. Then, after that is over, Kondaktama, he would, motivate people. Shall we climb the hill? Yes, Swami, yes, Swami. So all of them started to climb the hill. Now one side, you have to tell me, I'll go on for time up, Shlaklos. I don't know. So we climbed the hill, all the men, young boys like you, run behind Swami. Swami was the fastest runner. 1 foot here, there, he is at the top. These boys tried to reach him. And we tried to manage. But on the ladies' side, there was a trench. You know what a trench is? A pit. A long pit. They could not cross it over. And our aunts and other elders, one baby in the waist, one baby in the hand, they had to carry children. So they were stuck on this side. Youngsters and men folks, Swami went away to the other side. So my one grandmother, Swami, yemidi, she shouts from this side to him. Yemi, nevasta, nevunaga, I am there, no? So he comes running down, and then he stands on one side of the trench. He lends his hand like that. First he takes the baby, gives it to the person, lends the hand, helps the lady to cross over. Can you believe it? Now all these ladies, one by one, that's not there. So one by one they all crossed over, and then they went up. Kalpavruksha, whatever you wish for, you get. So he used to get many, many, many things. We have had many, many, many things. Let us not go into that. Then my grandmother gives one more call. Swami, hear me. Vutta ididatiste chaldu, Swami. It's not enough if you help us cross this trench. You have to help us cross this Bhavasagara, Swami. What a prayer. At what a situation, by what a person. Hats off to her again. Andikegane vachindedi, the assurance. It's only for that sake I have come. I help you to cross. Come, we will go. Friends, how can we forget? How can we? Then, come down. It's already 6 o'clock. Everybody come down. Fast as possible, come down. Undandi Vasta, again he goes up. My God. Some of the boys ran after him. Then he goes, suddenly you hear a voice. Kanpistunda? Kanpistunda? Yemi yakkada. Near the Kalpavruksha tree. A whirling wheel. I compare even today. These crackers when you play for the Diwali, that Vishnu Chakra you have seen? That's what we used to do. God knows what type of crackers you have nowadays. That Vishnu Chakra, it would be whirling with all, it was like that, a huge one, nearly 2 feet diameter, right in the middle, Swami's face. The chakra is going, swirling away. Then he asked, Kanpadtunda? Many of them said, yes, Swami, Kanpadindi, Meeru cheyandi. We did not want Swami there. But unfortunate souls were there. Swami, mak kanpadadu. Ayyo karmame. Everybody is saying, but some of them can't see. Then he says, ippudu chudandi. Then I realized, even for Arjuna, he could not see the Vishwarupa. He had to give a special eye to see. Maybe these devotees were given special eyes to see the chakra. Anyway, Swami, thank you for the wonderful, wonderful experience. Now, you have seen that right in front of Ganesha temple, there is that Naga Mantapa, all the stones, whatever they call it. We call it Naga Mantapam. That was built by my uncles, my father's brother and my father's sister's husband. When they did, they wanted to do elsewhere. Swami said, no, you do here only. So that was a function done in 1953 or so, in the new mandir. But one point, how Swami tests you, I want to tell you. Idigo, ee Nagapujiku, meeru nato cherkuntara, because the birthday crowd is there, swelling. In order to feed them all, we have to have, enough strength. So, Swami asked them, will you join me or should I join you? That was the question. Will you join me or should I join you? My aunts were very smart. Swami, a river or a pool can go to the ocean, Swami. Ocean can't come to this. So, we will join you. How do you like it? So, Swami said, yeah, chestam. The way he went in procession round the Prashanti Nilayam 3 times with uncles who carried that Naga, the stone statues. And all the rituals were followed. Then he came on, he materialized a metallic plate, he put it in. Then after that was that, Aarti was given. The garland specially got from Bangalore, from his neck to toes. Everything is there. Now the right, Swami's left is my uncle, father's brother and his wife. To the right is my father's sister and her husband. Then photo tiskuntam Swami, usual. So they got the photograph taken. And then my uncle, very, very special program is this. So he never trusted the photographers of Bangalore to develop it. So he mailed it to Madras, Chennai, to get that developed in the best possible way. And the the film went to Madras. After 1 week or so, the photo came. These 4 people with their mother opened it. They got the shock of their life. Because, you see the circle there? That circle near the garland? There was the hood of the Sarpa. There was the hood. So these people said, my God, where did it come from? We were there, we were so close. So they ran to Parthi. Said, Swami, idi em Swami idi? మీ పూజకు నాగప్ప తృప్తి చెంది వచ్చినాడు. When he went to, he felt very happy with your puja, so he came. But we didn't see Swami. None of us saw. If it was visible, but for me, all of you would have run away. This is Swami. That's Nag Pratishta. Friends, today when we go there, when we see the Nagas being worshipped morning till evening, day in and day out, what a boon he gave us to offer him. That's one thing I'm really, really happy. You have to tell me it's over. The last and the most important is Akhanda Bhajan. Now the main attraction for our group to go to Parthi on and on was bhajan. Bhajan, bhajan, bhajan. Nothing else. Now these bhajans those days were songs. So every possible language, every possible method, every possible type, we would sing, he would sing. It was wonderfully wonderful. Now our people coming away to Bangalore, till they went to Parthi next time there won't be any bhajan. They felt miserably. Miserably. They said, why can't we have weekly bhajans in our own houses? So started 6 families by turns bhajan from 6 to 8 o'clock. No, it was a family involvement. The husbands had to come from the office, the children had to go from the schools, and these women would go from their houses, collect together, sing bhajans. And the bhajans went on. They were happy. They never went and told Swami, Swami, we are doing a bhajan now. We did it for our own joy. After about 3 or 4 months, one of the ladies, that lady is Ankamma. Her choultry is in Magadi. I'll come to it later. That lady, she said, Sundaramma, why don't you come to our house once for bhajan, please? You come and do bhajan in our house. Because Swami liked my mother's song so much. She said, yeah, it is Thursday, it's bhajan, we can go. So these people went. Bhajan over, returned. After 4 or 5 days, Swami had come to Bangalore. As usual, my mother went to have his darshan. He came at her glaring. Ekkad pointivi, Thursday. Where had you been on Thursday? Why, Swami? I went for bhajan. No. I came to your house, such a big lock was dangling on your door. I went to Subhadramas, I went to Janakamas, I went to Lalitamas, I went to Sushilamas, I went to Jaydevama, 6 families. All the houses had such big lock dangling. Where had you been? My mother was a smart lady. Swami, Arthamaindi, Tappu Telisindi. We understood our mistake. Next time, from today onwards, we will never go anywhere on Thursday for bhajan. And so these people analyze. I tell you, smart aunties. If he comes and sees the lock on the door on a Thursday, if the door is open, he should come in. Isn't it? For our Thursday bhajans. Simple analysis. If you can come and see the lock and go, why can't he come and enter the house also? But how do we know that he has come? They had the solution also. A flower would fall. So if the flower is to fall, to show his arrival, how should we sit for bhajan? Concentration. No turning this way because I don't want to be told, you pool pada chud leda. No, I had to see it personally, first hand. Sometimes only one petal would fall. One time only the flower would move. Like this he kept us so concentrated, so occupied, so involved doing Thursday bhajans. And I am again proud of my elders. They said children also should learn. So the last half an hour, all we, tiny tots, we would be allowed to sing bhajans. How we sang, God knows. But we sang. It's a total family participation. This went on and on. 1 year was getting over. I am rushing through. When 1 year is coming, they all said, we must celebrate. 1 year's consistent bhajan we have done, we should celebrate for our own self. How do we do? How do we do? We will, the house which is tolerably big amongst the 6 houses will be the venue. Then this ration was a problem. They would give only weekly grains to us. No provision grocery was sold in the shops. So these people said, 1 week's grocery, 1 week's ration, we will give it for this function. We had to manage with only that, we can't get. And We are not moneyed people. So give 5 rupees for puja articles. 6 houses, no, 30 rupees. That should be enough. And all the elders will not have food. Economy. Only the youngsters will be fed. Friday morning, prasadam we will all have. This was their plan. But more than all this, we must have a wick, special wick. And that wick has to be kept in an earthen lid, earthen bowl. And we have to burn the lamp with only ghee. And what should be the wick? 365 days in a year. So 365 wicks you make, thin ones. Wind them. Then keep it. All this was their plan. Nobody told. Then they sent my mother and my grandfather, you go get blessings from Baba and come. These two go. Swami is in the old mandir. Hey, Sundaramma, em vachesna, randi. Em samachar. Swami, we are going to do Akhanda Bhajan. We want your blessings. What? You are going to do my Akhanda Bhajan and you don't want me? You don't want me my blessing? What is this? Swami asked. No, Swami. If you come, it's very difficult for us to control the crowd. It is very difficult for us to manage. So don't come. Give us the Chudu IGP, Inspector General of Police, one Mr. Ranjot Singh. Then it was Karnataka, not Bangalore. No, it was Mysore. So the IGP was standing. Chudu Ranjot Singh. Nenu vachindede bhajanuku. Nenu vachindede bhaktiku. See Ranjot Singh, I have come only for bhakti. I have come only for bhajan. These people are wanting to do 24 hours bhajan and they don't want me to go. Tell them. Swami requesting IGP to tell. Yak Sundaramma. Shh, you don't understand. You keep quiet. My mother stopped him. No, Swami, if you come, lot of people will come. How do we manage? We don't like to be humiliated. Please don't come. Give us prasad. Then that Ankama, I told you, in whose house they did bhajan one day. Sundaramma, our choultry is free. We will give you. Please do it there. You don't understand. Commutation and all that will be very difficult. You keep quiet. My mother snubbed her. Then Ranjot Singh says, I will give you a jeep and a driver. Please. Oh God, the problem is becoming from bad to, what do you call it? Then there was one Mr. Venkatappa, florist in City Market. He was there. Sundaramma, I will do the decoration. Please don't say no. And then Nagamani Amma, she was the granddaughter, daughter-in-law of, who is that one? Purnaya, Diwan of Mysore. She says, Sundaramma, none of us had a big photograph also. That's enough. She said, Nammanil doddu photo ide. I'll give you that, please. This is going to be. Then my mother sits in front of Swami. Listen to me, Swami. Don't humiliate us. Our honor has to be guarded. Promise me, then you can come. Sundaramma, nee kalpavrukshame vachinanu vastunnan. Neekem tondara. Why are you worried? I am the wish fulfilling tree. I am coming. Oh, these two people had no go. They both came back. Listening to this, all the other members said, my God, this is Agni Pariksha. They very sort of heartily donated 1 more week's ration. 1 more week we can go fasting, doesn't matter. So they did. And Swami arrives on Wednesday itself. Can you beat it? To Magadi Road Choultry. By himself, somebody brought him. And the best part was, Swami is talking to us, the elders are all talking, people coming with bag and baggage, bedrolls and trunks and whatnot, groups. So our elders, men said, no, this is a private function. No invitations are sent. This is a private function, please. Why are you bothered? Swami came to us last night in the dream and told us to come. So we have come. Then also my mother, Swami, give me permission. Let me go to the city. Make some arrangements. You are thrusting a big problem on my head. Pichi Sundaramma. The way he would address her. Ayyo Sundaramma. Kalpavrikshame vachi nee mundu nilchunte. When the wish-fulfilling tree has come to stand before you, why should you go here and there? Go. Go. The minute your bags become empty, getting them to me is your fault. Filling them is my fault. Forget all this. Go. Anandanga bhajana chayi Sundaramma. What more do you expect, friends? The 24-hour bhajan went on. Oh God, it was heaven. The songs went on without a break. Our very scrupulous. One bhajan is getting over, the last line is being sung, the second song should sing, because there should not be break. It is akhanda bhajana, not khanda bhajana. 24 hours bhajan went on. He was wonderfully happy. He stayed there throughout. Next morning, the hall is crowded. We have to give prasad. My grandmother, she comes. Swami, come. Come. He was about 22 years. And my grandmother was nearly 50 to 60 years. She would call him, come, go, like that, like an young boy. Swami, come. First, see the crowd. Have a look at this crowd. After Mangalarti, we are supposed to feed them all. Now come with me to the kitchen. So he takes her to the kitchen. There she says, these are the items which we can and which we have prepared. Don't get us humiliated. Say Akshayam. She ordered Swami to say Akshayam. And Swami, like an obedient boy, Akshayam, Akshayam, Akshayam. Vesko po, yendarkaina vaddichu, po. That was Akhanda Bhajan. The third year he gave us another challenge. Sundaramma, second year he didn't come. Third year, Sundaramma, will you be able to sing only Sai Hare, Baba Hare for 24 hours? Oh God. Till then only songs we were singing. And now he wants us to sing only Sai Hare, Baba Hare for 24 hours. Try Chestam Swami. I told you, my mother was. Then she calls her friends and all. Come on. And they were equally challenging. One fast Sai Hare, fast. Fast.
Sai Re Hare, Sai Hare Satya, Sai Hare Hare, Baba Hare, Sai Baba Hare Hare, Baba Hare Jai, Baba Hare Jai, Baba Hare Jai, Baba Hare Jai, Sai Hare Satya, Sai Hare Hare.
Like this, only Sai Hare, Baba Hare, 24 hours. You know what our people did? They composed the Sai Hare, Baba Hare in 100 ragas. Different tunes. And these people, Swami had not expected, I feel. Next morning he comes and sits there. He is blinking away to glory. These people are singing Sai Hare after Sai Hare. 24 hours. That was a challenge given to us. And that was how we took it. And then Swami says, Chala Anandanga undi Sundaramma. Kani Andariku idi pattadu. Sai Hare, Sai Hare, Sai Hare. Next time nunchi anni devandla peru cheppandi. How do you like it? This was. And one more Akhanda Bhajan I tell you. About 1969 or 70. I was not there, I was in Rishi Valley. These people, there is one lady among our group called Mani Bhashyam, who is the composer of Paramam Pavitram Baba Vibhutim. That's the lady who did it. I just told her, Mani, ವಿಭೂತಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಭಜನೆ ಮಾಡೆ, ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಮಾಡೆ, casually. But that bhajan turned out to be a hit and accepted by Bhagwan. So that lady had composed wonderful, wonderful bhajans. I tell you, you will all fall for it, I know fully well. Those bhajans she had composed, and our people would sit every Thursday for 5 weeks before Akhand bhajan, learn and rehearse it, because we have to present it well. And when they were sitting and rehearsing, the sister there, where is she? Where did she go? She is my first sister. She felt so carried away by the beautiful tunes. And then by that time Swami would move about, you know. After the bhajan started, he would sit for some time, go there, go here, come back like that. Continuously he would not listen. So she made a statement, Mani, we will time up to your chair this time. These bhajans are so beautiful, he has to sit and listen to it. We will tie him up to a chair. And the other girl says, yeah, like Yashoda tied him up to a Krishna to a chair. Yashoda tying Krishna up to a chair. So we will do that. Ha ha ha. They all laughed, and that was over. I didn't know. Next, after that, the bhajan started. It was in Golden Jubilee Hall, Lal Bagh. I never heard one bhajan also because I came that morning. That was another story. Then the bhajan starts. Evening, the hall was crowded. Outside, the whole Lal Bagh area was crowded. And Dr. Chandar, you know, they were Dr. Sundaresh's father. He was also in our group. Swami, there's going to be a stampede. What shall we do? They are all wanting to come in. What will I do? He said. No, Swami, you have to listen to us. Come on, tell me. Swami, you climbed on to the top of the ambassador car. So sit on that so that everybody can have a look. How do you like it? So this man gets a chair, helps Swami to get up on the chair, then onto the bonnet, onto the top of the ambassador car, then he puts a chair there, and then Swami sits there. And the crowd went mad. The hilak, you know, by the side of the Golden Jubilee Hall in Lal Bagh, it's a slopey hilak. People were all there. Everybody started screaming, Satya Sai Baba Kujai, Sai Baba Kujai. And Swami sits there, and the bhajan inside is wonderfully, wonderfully, wonderful. Now I see Swami. I too have not heard the bhajan before. He too has not heard before. He sees, looks at me, said, the bhajans are very good. He gives me sign language. Then I get motivated. I run to the veranda. Hey, this bhajan Swami likes. Keep singing this. Then they started singing second time. Then I come here. He says. Then I again go, hey, there are so many other bhajans. Why are you taking out? Get lost. They drove me away. So the bhajans were really beautiful. After 7:30 or so, he came and sat inside. That was then he made a statement. These devotees, when they sing soul-stirring bhajans, they tie me up with their bhajans. Bhagavantam, I forget whether I am the divinity and they are devotees, or they are divinity, I am the devotee. That is the strength of the bhajan. How do you like, friends? This is what Swami said. And the bhajan went on. Of course, we had to satisfy that. Next morning, after winding up after the Aarti, we go. Our group is given special time to spend with him. Then Swami is sitting on a chair. We all go in. Our girls' voice has become hoarse. 24 hours non-stop bhajan, you know, continuously singing. So then he says, Randi. We all went in. Kuchuni, bhajan cheyandi. Have you heard? 24 hours we have sung. And here he asked, bhajan cheyandi. Something is wrong with him or me. We were thinking. And then my sister, this girl says, Swami, throat is hoarse. I can't even. No, I can't. Ikra. She goes. He materialist vibhuti. Gives her. Go, put it in water, drink it and come. God. She takes it. Vibhuti goes into the kitchen, puts it into water, drinks. Tan, the voice has become original. So she comes and sings. That's, padandy bhajanlo. So one after another they are singing all the new compositions. He is enjoying them. And in the middle he asks me, Adena, is that the bhajan? I don't know. I said, not this. And then by the time about 6 or 7 bhajans were sung, our girls, I told you, they are very smart. They all started emotionally. My God, we said we will tie him up to a chair. He himself ties him up to the chair and he sits and listens to the bhajan. Swami. Then Swami asked Mrs. Ratanlal, who happened to sit there, Ratanlal, వీళ్ళంతా ఎందుకు ఏడుస్తున్నారు? Why are they all crying? That lady innocently honest. मुझे नहीं मालूम स्वामी. Mrs. Ratanlal, ఇది ఏడుపు కాదు. This is not crying. ఇది ఆనందాశ్రు. What more do you expect, friends? And everybody was carried away. That was bhajan. 25 years we did. One day he announces in the same Golden Jubilee, hardly 6 to 8 families for the Loka Kalyana. They did this Akhanda Bhajan for 25 long years. I am very pleased. Wait, let me complete. I am very pleased. I am satisfied. నాకు చాలా తృప్తిగా ఉంది. ఇంకా మీరు వెలిగించే ఒక్క దీపం, the one lamp which you have lit, henceforth will light the whole globe. This Akhanda Bhajan will become global bhajan. మీ భజన నాకు చాలా సంతోషం ఇచ్చింది. బంగారు చాలా సంతోషం. The Akhanda Bhajan, in order to satisfy ourselves, which our adults started as a pastime in their own house, has been elevated up to the global bhajan. And he says, I am happy. What more do we need than to please him? So, Akhanda Bhajan, we goodbye. Then my sister asked, Swami, if the elders are not able to do, why not we? We will carry on, Swami. That was positive approach. You know what he said? Bangaru, bhajanaku pedda chinna, aada maga ledu undadu. Bhakti margam andaru samanulu. మీ సేవ నాకు తృప్తినిచ్చింది చాలు. This is the great Akhanda Bhajan. 25 long years we did it with full zeal. And he gave us the maximum joy one can ever dream. In one sequence he says, Sundarama, భక్తులకు భగవంతునుకు అవినాభావ సంబంధం. The relationship between the divinity and devotee is not to be altered. It is there. But if devotees, bhaktula anandame na aharam, he has told many times. But one sentence he said, he says, if you are milk, I am the whiteness of milk. Can anybody separate milk from whiteness? That is the avinabhava sambandham. So friends, I am highly overjoyed, I should say, for you people giving me the joy of reliving every incident. I have gone through several more, no time to share with you, but each and every incident is etched in our brain so much that we are, but we never say he is not there. He is with us. Intane, kantane, ventane, jantane. We fail him. He gets it done even today. So he is Hridayasthayi. Satyasayini Hridayasthayi ayunda. Pichi bayamulu neekenduku. Why should you be afraid of all the small things? That's the thing. Anyway, Thank you all very, very much for giving me this chance of reliving the good old days. Thank you very much, friends.